Hello everybody, Toastbomb here, bringing you my first Kilo gameplay. If you don't know what Kilo is, what I'm talking about there, it basically means that I got over 1,000 points in this game. So it pretty much means that I was just destroying. Now, I'm going to tell you how I did this because I'm sure you're all wanting to get one of these yourself. It's pretty hard to do, and it does have a little bit of luck to do with it. Because I did get matched up with some kind of crappy people, but I also did influence some of it through skill and positioning, stuff like that. Now, you'll notice a lot of times I'm on these landings right here. The landings are these little places where you land after you go over the man cannon right there. You see that a lot of times you can throw these people off guard, flank them crazily, and they'll just have no idea. These people are kind of crappy, so they're just not even paying attention at all, and I can just get tons of kills doing this. Normally, this doesn't work quite as well because people will spawn behind you, they're smart enough to realize that they're up there, and they're not just going to have tunnel vision on the middle of that hill constantly throughout the entire game. Now, also jump up on these things a lot too. That gives you a huge advantage. Other than just jumping out there, you'll easily get naded. But as you can see, it's very easy to get flanked. A lot of times, especially on this hill position, the team will spawn behind you on that big ramp back there in that open area. They'll spawn back there and you'll get destroyed. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start spawning there soon. But I'm also just getting really fortunate with some of these cleanup kills. Now I do, in hindsight of this, in the past few days I've learned a lot more about the spawns on this map and found that I was playing pretty dumb. I'm just going top mid and I'm going to get spawned behind a lot. Although this is a pretty good move right here. They're just not even paying attention. I just destroyed them. Anytime you can do that, if, say, your team is going down a certain hall, as long as you know that pretty much that entire team is there, and if there's just one person, you're going to be able to take them out, it's a good idea to go and flank them. Going top mid, if only 2 people were in the hill and 3 people were top mid, would probably be a bad idea because my whole team's going down the hallway to kill 2 people, and I'm going top mid by myself to die because there's 3 people, enemies top mid. That's not a good idea, but since I knew the entire team was there, and they're just completely distracted by my whole team going down the hall, I'm gonna go do that flank and grenade them and get like a triple kill. So here, again going to the landing, great way to stay alive is jumping around there. If you're using the jetpack, helps a ton on this map. Even though it is, there's not a ton of little giant jump places, there's just tons of maneuvering things because the big part of the map is the 2 levels, is that you always want to be on the higher up level. This is another place here, is that that's a really good place, but it sucks because the team is almost always going to spawn behind you on that big ramp like I was talking about before when they're at that smaller hill. That place is amazing to get people off the hill, but you can't stay there for long. As you can see, there's already another guy behind me and another guy falling behind him. So it really is a great position, but you can't hold it down by yourself. You really need to have some other teammate with you watching your back, or maybe even a person over there sort of blocking the spawn, forcing them to spawn in one of the ramps. But pretty much any position that they're going to spawn in is going to be behind you, because they're pretty much either going to spawn behind the big ramp or they're going to spawn the opposite side of the map, staircase place. If you get what I'm saying, it's not going to be the same side of the map hallway staircase thing. It's going to be the other side of the map. So they're pretty much always going to spawn behind you unless they have a ton of their teammates somewhere else, and that's going to influence them to spawn somewhere else. So I really like that position top mid, and you can get some kills, but you just can't stay there very long. You see I'm going back to it again to try to kill people off, but there's already somebody behind me again. People are constantly going top mid, especially also just to jump from the hill to this position because it's a very good place, and also just a lot of other people realize that that is a position that you can get lots of kills in, and they go up there a lot. Like you can see when I was standing up there, if the enemy spawned there, I was completely out in the open. I didn't have much cover or anything. So I'm going there again, which is really probably a stupid idea. Already someone, boom, I'm dead again. So you can see that's not a very good place. I guess it was a betrayal, but still. And on this hill, I'm still a little confused about. I don't know exactly the greatest position other than just kind of maybe stick to one of the hallways sort of and get some shots. It's a very awkward place because people can back out so easily. But what I'm pretty much doing to get all these points is just constantly staying in the action. I know that these guys aren't super great relative to me, so I can pretty much hold my own for the most part, and I can just constantly be staying in the action. I don't have to back out very often. They're a lot of times just running straight for the hill, not even shooting. So like that guy right there, what's he doing? I don't know, but I got the kill, so I'm happy about that. But another important thing to note about these games is that even though I'm not going in the hill really at all, you see we're still in the lead, and I'm still playing an important role in this game. Just because I'm not going in the hill, not everybody has to be an objective player, and if everybody was an objective player, that'd actually be a worse thing, because you'd all just be running straight for the hill, kind of like this enemy team is doing, and just dying over and over again. You only need one person in the hill, and maybe one person next to the hill to get in the hill if that other person dies. If you're all on the hill, you're not going to have a good spread out position. You're going to be easily naded like these two guys right here. Check that out. That guy's dead. You know, easy right there. Didn't take any skill to do that. So if you're all clumped into one spot, that's not a good place because, one, you're going to get naded. Two, you're not going to have a variety of positions to attack from. The more you're spread out, the easier it's going to be to team people, and it's the harder the enemy team's going to have a harder time destroying that setup, because if, say, you spawn and there's two guys in front of you right next to each other, you could potentially nade them, and it's just going to be easier time taking them out. But if there's one in front of you and one behind you, you're going to have a lot harder of a time killing them. You're probably still going to die in both situations anyways, but just thinking about that, when you get it with 5 people doing that against an entire team, it's going to make a huge difference. So that's pretty much what I'm doing in this game, is kind of being support slash main slayer, keeping the enemy team in their respawn so that my team has an easier time getting into the hill and getting more points. And again, with this bottom hill, it's just so awkward. This bottom hill is just so weird because people are just running in there getting naded. This is maybe a good place sometimes if the enemy team is on that side where you can like look down from the landing on there, but there's not just a ton of good lines of sight, and the ones that are okay, you're really exposed. And yeah, I just don't know how I feel about that hill or what the best way to go about that is. But again, going top mid, just getting into the action. I'm probably going to go over to the landing after I take this guy out, or I ran out of ammo. But yep, back to the landing. So another thing is the jetpack. I kind of mentioned it before, it is very big on this map. I can go from bottom mid all the way up to top mid, bam, like that with the snap of fingers. I don't have to go all the way around the map to go up a ramp or anything like that. I can instantly get top mid. But you can see here, got 2 kills top mid, but again, I did get taken out top mid easily because there's people constantly spawning behind me. So I found recently that this position that I'm at right now is actually a lot better because you have a really good line of sight of that that hill, but you're not completely exposed to being spawned around and stuff like that to the enemies when you're over here, right, the place I'm standing right now. So that can be a pretty alright position. See, I'm taking out guys, they don't know what's going on because they're just, again, tunnel vision on the hill. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do, just stay in the action constantly if you know that you can totally take them out and handle these guys. Like you can see, I'm just sort of sitting back and they just have no idea what's happening. Like, yeah. And again, don't get mad at your teammates if they aren't necessarily going for the hill, because again, a lot of people think that's what you need to be doing is running towards the hill, but that's really how you lose a hill game against an experienced team. Is, you know, look at this guy. He's just running straight for the hill. We got 2 guys, I'm behind them, completely flanking them, and they just don't even stand a chance. But anyways, that's the game, my Kilo gameplay. If you like the video, you can leave a like or a comment, or you could subscribe because I post new Halo videos every day. There you can see 1,105. That's the first one I've ever gotten. If you have gotten any, let me know. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Anyways, see you tomorrow. Bye.